Welcome back to Ladies of the Night, episode 3. What have you been up to this week?
Not too much. What have you been up to this week?
Not a lot. Not much. Reading, watched tiny bit of TV, so not a whole lot. And I don't have a movie booked this weekend for once.
I'm shocked by this revelation.
I am too. I was going to see Toy Story, but I'm waiting to take someone, so it'll probably be next weekend. But it was pretty sold out this weekend.
You'll have to let me know how it is.
I hope it's cute. I didn't love the 4th one, so I'm not over the moon about this one, but we'll see. Hopefully it's cute at least.
I stopped after 2, so.
You haven't even seen the 3rd one?
Nope, I have
Oh,
not.
that was a trauma in the theater. Big time.
Theater?
Yeah, I saw it in theaters.
Stop.
Well, it came out in 2010. So
Oh gosh.
we were old enough to go and take ourselves, but yeah, that is one theater experience I do still remember
I just can't
because
get
it
over
was
you saying it
traumatic.
like that.
What stood out?
Theater. I don't know. I just called it theater.
I guess maybe I don't know, maybe I needed it to be dramatic in my head, I don't know,
It's okay. I love
because it
it.
was. It was.
I mean, it seemed like it was trauma inducing, so
It really was. I still see posts about it sometimes.
that's how you know it traumatized a generation.
Yeah. Just the millennials, though. I don't think anyone younger cared, but, I mean, when toys you grew up with are on an incinerator belt, that's pretty bad.
Definitely.
Well, what have we had in the news world of pop culture this week?
Um, for me, at least, I seen that we had the Bear premiere, and that comes out on the 25th, which is Thursday. So hopefully that season's good. We've talked about it last episode. Mentioning it again this episode, and we're gonna mention it again next week's
Mhm.
episode. But hopefully it's good. It looks good. The trailer looks good. So my fingers are crossed that we're gonna end on a high note, kinda, sorta,
Yeah.
I guess.
I really want it to go out with a bang, but we'll see. Um, Time will tell, but I am excited. Like I said last week, I am ready for it to end, but I am looking forward to it.
Same. And then the only other thing that I seen this week was we got new off-campus photos.
We did, and it looks like my man is being arrested,
I am pretty sure he's definitely being arrested for that
but
punch.
I have a theory of where this is gonna go, so hear me out.
I think
Obvious
I also know where this is going, but
Yeah, it'll be funny if it's the same thing. So, I think he is being arrested for assaulting Hunter, more than likely. His dad is a top defense attorney, and I think he'll come get him out, and he'll probably wind up with some kind of community service, and that's how he'll end up coaching the Hurricanes, which is the little youth team at the elementary
Mhm.
school in Hastings, and so I think that's gonna open up that storyline, and they'll probably do away with Coach O'Shea, which was his high school coach that brought in that whole side story, which I'm fine with if it was on the show, but I think this could be the direction maybe they're gonna go in, and that's gonna make him wanna transition into teaching and all of that just like in the books. So that's what I think's gonna come of it if he's being arrested, but what were you thinking?
For some reason, I'm further in the books. I was thinking about the situation. I think it's in Briar U, where I'm pretty sure they get into a fight or something, and then the Coach Jensen, has to come bail him out. And it was like that
Uh,
whole big thing.
well, so that was Hunter, he came to bail out, and it's because him and Demi they pull over because her earring gets caught on his
Oh, yes.
pants,
Okay.
and it looks like a roadside act, if you will, and they get called in, and they're arrested, and Jensen comes and gets Hunter out of jail.
For some reason, that's where my mind went for some reason. And they were going to have Coach Jensen. And then maybe if that's the case, Coach Jensen could make him also do community service
Yeah, it
as
could
an act for
be.
the team.
It could be. I think
Because
either way, it's gonna wind up with the Hurricanes.
I think so. Because if he gets arrested, Hunter also threw a punch. So is Hunter also getting arrested?
I
Like,
don't
because that could be a
know.
whole thing too.
Mhm. Yeah, I don't know. That's a good point. And it could be that they're maybe in addition to Dean doing the Hurricanes, they're forced to work together
Yeah, I was
and
gonna say
maybe
it's like like a bonding opportunity since he's joining
yeah,
the team.
yeah, and maybe that's where they'll connect more like they were in the books versus what they're doing on the show.
Yeah,
So that could be interesting too. But yeah, I looked at the pictures a little closer and I was like, I think he's being handcuffed.
definitely.
No, take someone else away, not Dean.
Hey, he threw a punch. Okay.
I can't say that it was warranted because I don't know if it wa I don't feel like it probably was, but yeah. I feel like that meme of Jeremy Strong where he's like, "In my client's defense, Your Honor, who cares? Who cares?" That's how I feel about Dean right now.
Ah, that's great. I love it.
So
I
also oh, go ahead.
No, go for it.
Well, I was gonna leave off campus, so if this was about off campus, speak
No,
your
it was
word.
not.
Oh,
No.
well, I was just gonna just quick note, not a whole lot to get into, but we did have a tiny bit of a teaser with Rebecca Yarros. Not anything direct about book 4, but that she is about to get back to writing book 4. So we know it is coming, but I still think it's probably gonna be end of next year. So I don't get excited a whole lot when she posts stuff because I still think it's gonna be a while.
Yeah, I definitely think it'll be a hot minute.
I mean, I guess we wait for everything, so it is what it is, but
It's true. This time I have to wait with everyone else.
yes, you do. You a lot of people I know don't know the suffering of reading Iron Flame and then having to wait for Onyx Storm. That was a rough time because that cliffhanger I mean, Onyx Storm's probably worse, but both are rough to have to sit and wait.
Yeah, I did not have that. I think I read both of them. I binged them on Christmas break, and then I think I had like 2 weeks or something, and then Onyx Storm dropped.
Yeah, it wasn't
So
long.
no. And then so I think the longest I've waited is for Akatar now,
I think
which obviously
so.
isn't very long anyways. It was like a year I've had to wait since I read them.
It's still hard because we want to know.
We do.
So, but yeah, so we had that in the book world.
Mhm.
Where were you going a second ago? Because I don't want an important thought to go away.
No, you're good. I was just gonna say, do you have anything in the sports world?
Not at the moment. I really miss hockey. I'm counting down to preseason in September, but I think the schedule drops in just about a month, and I'm excited for that. So I'll know when the Bruins are coming, and I can plan to go to that. I did watch most of the Stanley Cup Finals, mostly in the background. I think everybody I know also feels the same way, but I cannot stand the Golden Knights, so I didn't really want to watch it. But I'm very pleased that Carolina won. So that was pretty much my only sports stuff. I know the draft's getting ready to go on, but just biding my time. I'm going to a couple of baseball games soon, so that's something to look forward to. But I'm ready for hockey.
Yeah.
So I might have to dive back into like one of my hockey books or something to tide me over.
Yeah,
Or
definitely.
I have the NHL game for PS5, so I could play that season out. It's kind of hard though because you have to manage the team. You have to play as all the players. And I mean, you have to keep up with money. You have to decide if you want to trade anybody. It's actually kind of hard. I just want to skate and hit the puck and do that. But it's pretty fun. So far I haven't had to also play as goalie. I think I've got that setting turned off. but it hurts my thumb because one is to control the skate and then the
Mhm.
other's to shoot and bump people and all that, and honestly, like, my hand is sore when I get done playing. I feel like there's an episode of Friends where Chandler's playing Pac-Man for hours and his hand gets stuck in a claw, and that's how I feel when I get done playing the NHL game, so
There's an episode of Bob's Burgers. I'm, like, obsessed with Bob's Burgers, and there's one
Uh-huh.
where he gets, I don't wanna say it's like carpal tunnel, but he gets something with his hands,
Yeah.
and because he's playing, like, the old school video game, and,
Uh-huh.
that's just what that reminded me of.
Yes. It does, it hurts after a while, but
I think I'm gonna have to get like, this is completely off topic. I think I'm gonna have to get a PS5
Mhm.
because, a couple weeks ago, they did the announcement that they're doing, Until Dawn 2. And I
Oh.
am obsessed with the first game, and
Mhm.
then the second one is coming out, I think it's in 2027, so I got a little time, but
Mhm.
and then they also announced that Dacre Montgomery was going to be a character in it, so
Oh, yeah, you
I'll
gotta
have
get
to,
it. That's one of your
yeah,
mans.
exactly.
I will say it's a lot of money. I did get it on sale Black Friday, but I haven't regretted getting it, which I worried about because I know with my Nintendo Switch, I really don't hardly play it anymore. I just lost interest in it, and thankfully that
Yeah.
didn't cost as much. But so far, I play the PS5 pretty regularly, and I've really liked having it. I haven't done a whole lot with it game-wise, but I feel like it's worth the money. I know my dad came over one night, and I was playing the F1 game, and he was like, "What is that on?" And I was like, "PlayStation 5," because of how clear it is, and I've had a good time with it. So I don't know, look into it.
Well, I helped a friend get a
I
PS5
remember.
when they first dropped, yeah.
Thankfully, they're much easier to acquire now,
Yes.
which is nice.
I feel like like, any type of system game, for some reason, I'm really good at just snapping them because, like, when they announced that they were dropping the Nintendo Switch 2, I was able to nab that, like, right away as well for
Mhm.
pre-order.
Man, you're the champion of that.
I guess. But I have to admit, I don't play the Nintendo Switch 2 that often, but when I do, I'm obsessed with, Pokopia.
What is
It's basically like Pokemon Animal Crossing.
Oh, that sounds cute.
Like, for me, it's hard because you have to, like, you're, like, finding these Pokemon, and you have to, like, build them habitats, and I'm like,
Oh,
"Okay, I've got, like, these 20,000,000 Pokemon here, and I gotta build them all a house."
that is so cute.
Yeah.
Something like that might make me wanna play it again. I did see one Switch game that sounds kind of similar to that, but the only reason I kept seeing it I cannot think of the name of it now, but it almost looks similar to The Sims, but it's on the Switch because I saw people building, like they were making them after, like, NHL players. I saw some heated rivalry
Oh,
ones,
okay, yep,
and it looks cute.
it's like, yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. I've
'Cause
seen TikTok's edits and stuff, yeah.
Yes, that's where I've seen it's TikTok, and I did finally look it up, so I've contemplated maybe doing that, but I have PS5 stuff I've gotta get through because I wanna finish these games, and they take a while,
Yeah, I feel that.
but
See,
yes.
we
I
got
was gonna
completely off
say
topic.
yeah, I was gonna say this was about sports, and then it did a whole loop around, but yes, no, for me, it's been quiet. I'm sweating because some of the NHL trades have started, and I think that's a fear everybody has unless you really want your
Mhm.
person off, but, you unfortunately have had something
Yes.
like that this week.
I did, for my rugby team, the Brisbane Broncos. One of my players is leaving the Broncos, Jesse, and he is going to play in the south of France for the Dragons after the season. So he's got a 2-year contract with Dragons. So I'm hoping after 2 years he'll come back to the Broncos. Um, for some reason, TikTok decides what sports and what teams I get assigned. This happened a couple years ago. I was scrolling on TikTok and they were like, I think it was the end of college baseball season, and
Mhm.
I kept seeing all these TikToks about the Vols and their baseball team winning the championship. And I was like, okay, the Bulls are my team, I guess. And then after that was done, then it transitioned into rugby, and that's how I got my rugby team. TikTok assigned me the Broncos. Jesse was the main person who popped up on my FYP, so I was
Mhm.
like, "Well, he's my number 1 player. Now he's leaving." So, it's a bit of sad news on that aspect of my sports.
That is. You've been in
It's so
mourning this
sad.
week.
I know, it's so sad.
Well, that opens up the conversation, do you change teams? Do you like both? That I feel like that's kind of a complex situation to be in because I don't know what I would do,
I
especially
mm,
depending on the team. I feel like
yeah.
it would affect me more with hockey versus football because I'm not as loyal to the players on the Eagles anymore because Jason Kelsey was my favorite player. And since he retired, I like the guys on the team, but I'm not attached to anybody. But then you get in with Boston, and I've got several I'm attached to. And if
Yeah.
they like, so I don't know what I would do, but also I feel very loyal to the team.
I think for me, I can do both because they don't play each other.
Hmm.
So, I think I can still stick with the Broncos. I do have other players I do like as well. I got Patty and Reese and Jordan. I've got multiple other people that I root for and I follow, so I definitely still think I'm going to root for the Broncos, but I'll have to, like, also give my focus to the Dragons and learn those players.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a lot to learn new people.
Gotta brush up on my French.
Yeah. Get your Duolingo out.
I know, I haven't done Duolingo in a long time.
Oh, man. I have a 682-day streak.
Oh my gosh. I think I stopped, with Italian after, like, a year.
Yeah. Well, because I think you looked at it, "Hey, I made it to a year. I'm good," and I've just kept going, and I don't know
I
at
know.
this point if it's I don't know, like, what I'm proving to myself by continuing to go, especially because I'm doing Russian right now. I'm
Mhm.
never gonna use Russian. It's because of heated rivalry. But watch, when season 2 comes, I'm gonna understand some things.
Exactly, it's perfect.
So but on that note, speaking of books, what have you read this week?
I finished Light Wielder by Rachel Snyder. I like
Mhm.
devoured that within a whole day. Um,
Nice.
I was happy with the ending. I won't spoil anything since it's still fairly new.
Mhm.
And then I did start and finish a new book. It's called The Night King. I
Mhm.
did start that. I did finish it, and now I'm on to the second book in that series, The Night Prince.
Mhm.
I'm not sure how I feel about it. I don't know if my mind is just distracted or if I'm just not into that story. I
Yeah.
like because it's fantasy, which is completely fine, like, whatever. I don't know. For some reason, I'm not in it.
Mhm. Yeah, and that it's a hard thing because sometimes I think you have to be in a certain mindset for a book, and then other times it just really isn't your thing. I
Yeah.
know I felt like that with the last couple of books I had read before Dungeon Crawler Carl, and I couldn't tell if it was am I just not in a headspace for it or is this just not my cup of tea because both
Yeah.
are valid and happen.
I don't know. I'll finish it out. I'll obviously I'm in the second book. The third book comes out later in the year.
Mhm.
So I'll stick it out.
Yeah,
What
could
about
be
what
one.
about you?
I am still reading Dungeon Crawler Carl. I am on book
Okay.
6 because there's 8 of them. The book 5 was a little over 700 pages, so it took me a little bit. Plus, I had some stuff going
You're
on the last
gearing
week.
you are gearing up for ACOTAR.
I am. Yeah, this is I mean, it's good training because most stuff I've read this year, I think I've read 66 books or something. So I've read a lot, but a lot of them were shorter.
Yeah.
So, it's been a minute since I've read something this big. I think the last larger books I read prior to this was Quicksilver and, Brimstone. But other than that, everything was probably about 400 pages, and so as I've gotten further in this, it's been a good warm up to reread ACOTAR because these are long and they're not fantasy, but it's still a lot of information.
Mhm.
So, I am ready to get done with them because it has started spilling in my feed some, and I'm worried I'm gonna see a
Yeah.
spoiler, and so I'm trying to be very careful with it, and I'm ready to look at the memes a little more because there's a lot of funny stuff in them. But I have liked them, and I saw this week that they said it's going to be adapted into a TV show,
Oh,
which
that'll
is
be fun,
exciting.
hopefully.
Well, that's I was about to say, so the only thing that makes me nervous, and first off, I've never watched any of this channel's original shows, so they may be great, but I would have probably thought HBO for this. Peacock is doing it.
Oh,
But
okay.
but a couple of the people involved, I feel like are probably okay, so we'll see. Um, Not that there's anything wrong with Peacock, just with something that's this heavy, I think, with special effects and stuff, my
Mhm.
first thought would have been HBO.
Yeah.
But HBO does take a long time to put stuff out, and some of the other streaming services I feel like move a little quicker, so it could be a really good thing, but also then you've got casting and different stuff that it's kinda nerve-wracking, but we'll see. I don't remember if there was a whole lot of details. They're gonna have a panel at San Diego Comic-Con, so I think more will come out next month.
Hopefully the panel's good.
Yeah, and that'll be something to browse when it happens, because I haven't really looked at San Diego Comic-Con stuff that much in the last few years. I feel
No.
like probably pre-COVID, it was very exciting, and a lot of things had panels, and I would spend the whole weekend looking up pictures and videos, and I don't do that as much anymore because they don't have as many panels that interest me now. Especially, I think it was last year or 2 years ago, Marvel didn't have a panel, for the first time in a while, and so I'm hoping maybe we'll get some stuff out of that, but I am curious to see the panel for this, or at least the information.
Well, hopefully it's good information.
Yeah, because it's nerve-wracking when stuff's adapted, I feel like. So, we shall see about that. So, in other news this week, we saw Taylor Swift was at the Electric Lady Studio. Don't know what that means. We probably will not know for quite a while, but our girl was seen at the recording studio, so maybe it's something. I've also wondered if she might end up releasing the re-recorded version of Debut because it's the 20th anniversary this year, and she did say it was finished. So
Don't even get me
maybe.
started.
Yeah, I was gonna say this is triggering for Treva because she was ready
So
for Reputation Taylor's version.
mhm.
And while we love that, she got everything back and fantastic, it is not that it's a bummer. I hope I'm not saying this wrong, but we really would have liked to have seen the vault tracks and things that went with Rep. And maybe at some point in time they'll be released, separately, or maybe she'll still do something down the road.
Yeah, that's my favorite album.
Yeah, and I feel like the vault for that would be killer.
I mean, that got me into being a Swiftie, so I feel like give me more, give me more.
Mhm. Yeah. So the mention of Debut being re-recorded, as soon as I said it, I was like, "Oh, no."
It's fine. I'm fine.
Well, and 2, people who weren't or are not Swifties don't know, like, what we went through for 2 years thinking Reputation Taylor's version was coming, and probably even people who aren't saw the memes about clowning, and it was
Mhm.
always for Reputation, that to the point
Every
we were
single time.
borderline insane.
I don't remember when I gave up, but at some point I gave
Yeah,
up.
and
I gave up all hope.
and the crazy part is there was once or twice I was sure that this was it, and then there was nothing. This was all during
Exactly.
the Eras tour, so
Yes.
we thought things were coming at the shows, but yeah, it that was quite a time.
To go back and relive.
I know, because we don't. I mean, there is some clowning that goes on still, and I think there probably always will be because she is
Mhm.
known for Easter eggs. But the 2 years of Reputation Taylor's version clowning was something else.
It was so bad. I am guilty as charged for
Yeah.
clowning during that time.
Yeah. I mean, truly, just anything that happened, we thought this was it. And there
Anytime we were together, we also
yes.
thought,
Yes, because for a while, we were together when she announced Speak Now, Taylor's version. We
yeah,
we were on
we were
vacation at Disney.
last day at Disney.
Yeah.
She announced that, and then I don't know how the universe works, but we were together when it
For the
dropped that year.
release.
Yes.
Yeah, and we had a little party, I mean, I decorated my apartment and stuff. We were getting ready to go out of town for a Comic-Con, and we got to listen to it together, and that was really cool, but that one also had the Easter eggs leading up, and, I mean,
Mhm.
that time we were all right, that was actually a release, and then some things, did end up panning out. When she was wearing a lot of orange and purple, that did end up relating to Life of a Showgirl, but with her being at the studio the other day, I have no idea. I'm not even gonna start trying to clown because um, I'm not. I'll wait till we have more to go off of. Just
Yeah,
right now, all we know is she was seen out, and, she looked really
exactly.
nice. I liked her outfit she had on.
Her hair always looks fabulous.
Yeah, I know what you're gonna say, but it makes me want bangs again.
No, no
No bangs.
bangs.
No bangs. I
I'm
think
gonna turn into Edna mode. No
the
bangs.
the last time I said that, you texted my sister does my hair for people listening who
Yeah,
don't know.
I
She
messaged.
texted my sister and was like, "She's talking about bangs."
I'm gonna text her after this podcast. I'm gonna be like, no bangs.
And just to clarify, it's not my deal with bangs is not that I think I look bad with them. It's just they get in the way. They are a lot of upkeep if you've never had them. You have to style them every day. And I've started wearing my hair wavy more than I used to, and I don't think it looks as good with wavy hair as it does straight hair. So it's kind of a but I've had a love-hate relationship with bangs since about 2012, and it was Emma Stone had them for Spider-Man, and then Jennifer Lawrence had them for a little bit, and that's what started it. And on and off since then, I've had them.
I need
So
to get
and
you into like Bangs Anonymous or something. Knock it off.
I need a support group. I try to do things like, I kinda wanted them last year, and I was gonna be Glinda for Halloween from Wicked, and I was like, "I can't because she doesn't have bangs," and I don't know what I'm gonna be for Halloween this year yet, but I'm already thinking, like, eh, something with no bangs,
Yeah,
which will keep me motivated.
exactly. No bangs.
I really wanted to do Allie's bangs from off campus, but
No.
they they're a lot more wispy because I had the blunt ones, and I was like, it's too much,
And
and
she has so many layers.
yes, because I thought about that too, because it is a fun haircut, but you have to really think that stuff through before you do it because
Mhm.
it's very different, especially when it's a celebrity or it's on a TV show or movie. You've gotta remember you've got people styling their hair, and
Exactly.
with Allie's, I don't know that her style was the same way I know how to do, so really, you might not have even seen the layers on me because I don't think I can fix my hair like that. Plus, short layers take a long time to grow out, and they come out when you put your hair up and things like that, so I did opt out of that last time I
Leave it for
went.
Mika. Leave it for
Yeah.
Mika.
Yeah, it's a unique haircut, it's super cute, I'm glad that people like it and want it, but I did talk myself out of that last time I
Good.
went. But yes, but Taylor rocks the bangs, and people complain
Yes.
that she's had the same hair for years, but if she likes it and it works, let her be.
If it's not broke, don't fix it.
Yeah, if she looks good with them and if that's what she feels comfortable with, let her have it. I like the bangs, and she still styles them sometimes where they're out of her face, every now and then, but I'm a fan of her bangs, so I'm not gonna complain about it. Little transition also this week. It's funny when we got on, I was telling Treva, I don't feel like much happened this week. And now that we're talking, we had Spider-Man, a brand new day trailer drop, and I we kind of got a little bit from the teaser, but this one, I didn't realize exactly how much Peter is transforming until it showed the black spider eyes, and that freaked me out a little bit. I was not a fan of looking at Tom like that.
I am excited just to see the Punisher back. I
Yeah,
love the Punisher.
yeah. I'm excited for that too. I just want to say I don't dislike Bruce and the Hulk, but I'm not as excited about his involvement because it looks like Hulk's gonna have a little more to do with it than I had originally thought, and I'm kind of back and forth on that. But I am excited for Frank, and It's got a 3-year time jump, I think is what I read. They are seniors in college. Well, MJ and Ned are, because I don't think Peter went, is the
No.
vibe I'm getting. I don't He wouldn't have the money. But so I'm curious to see where all it's going to go, but I'm very excited, and I spent probably 30 or 40 minutes on Wednesday trying to get tickets because AMC kept crashing, and I did get my tickets, and then I went back in later and looked, and it is pretty much entirely sold out opening night at my theater, and I have not seen that, and I don't know when.
Good. I love when, like, the theater is, like, hopping again.
I do too, and it makes me think of when people talk about the theaters dying, I'll just wait for streaming, and that kind of stuff, but it's not the same,
Yeah.
and just the thrill of especially something like Marvel opening night, that it's fun, and I know at my theater sometimes people dress up too, and that's always kind of fun. I've seen people do Spider-Man. There was some Deadpool. I dressed up for Thunderbolts. I went as Yelena, and that was fun. I think someone else was dressed up at my showing for that too, but I don't remember. So it's always a lot of fun. So I'm excited to see that it's going to be pretty poppin' that night.
And I have a theory that Daredevil's in it. There's a couple spots. You know how they
Oh,
did like the 3 Spider-Man thing and like
uh-huh.
they like took him
They
out?
cut them out. Yeah.
There's a couple scenes I feel like Daredevil's there. Obviously it looks like he's facing the hand in the prison and like you have to think back to the very beginning of Daredevil, he was facing the hand.
I will come unglued if Matt Murdock shows up in that.
I mean, we already got Frank, so maybe we'll get a little sprinkle of Matt.
Oh, I would love that because when he popped up, I mean, we knew beforehand, but I was still excited about him being in No Way Home. But man, yeah, if he's like a surprise in this, and I always go back and forth with the Marvel cameos because sometimes I feel like there's too much and that they do
Mhm.
it just to kind of appease people,
Enjoy
fan
what you
service.
can.
Well, apparently after these last next Avengers movies, I read they're resetting the MCU or something along those
Oh.
lines. I'll have to pull up the article, but I was like, so none of this mattered. So I don't know that I I don't think I've fully processed that, and I need to go back and read exactly what that entails. But that if that is the case, I don't know why we're talking about it now and not later, because that makes me feel like anything that's happening now doesn't matter. And that may not be
Yeah.
true, but
Are we
we've
gonna
had
get thrown into a new timeline?
that's what I'm wondering. And like I said, I need to go back and read it again, and I'll find it and send it to you too. But I was confused by that. So, but I am excited for Spider Man. Is that our well, no, we have Avengers at the end of the year, never mind. I was about to say, is that
Yes.
the only Marvel this year? But no, we do have Avengers.
Yes, we have Doomsday at the end of the year,
Mhm. So,
which will be fun, hopefully.
I hope so. I'm looking forward to it. So, but I think I'm most excited for Spider-Man. That's my boy, and I
Hopefully it's good.
love Tom Holland.
Exactly.
Tom's
Hopefully
one of
it's
those
good.
I hope so, but regardless, I was just like, "It had Tom. It was fabulous. It
Ex
was fine."
exactly. Maybe you'll get some Matt Murdock, and you'll definitely get some Frank Castle, so
Yeah, if anything, we have Frank, so
exactly.
that'll tide me
I'm already
over.
sad, okay?
Yeah. If it has John Bernthal, Treva is there.
I'm there.
But, I mean, typically everything he's in, though, is good. So, he is one of those people that, for the most part, his projects are worthwhile.
Mhm.
Because 'Cause I've sat through some rough stuff for some actors and actresses before.
That is a fact.
I don't know off the top of my head who has had the worst that I've done. Glenn Powell had some pretty bad ones that were early on, but then
I
there were a lot of ones that were good too, but I don't know. I don't think he's the top.
I
There's someone who's had worse.
I am gonna say it. Um, I think it's Sebastian Stan.
See, I have liked most of his stuff. Chris Evans,
It's,
that's who it was, Chris Evans.
uh,
I was like, I knew there was someone that had, like, it was rough. But Sebastian's stuff, I feel like I liked most of it because I watched a lot of the TV shows and those things.
like, it's not that he was bad in them. I just think maybe the production wasn't that great.
Yeah, and
Because
that's
when
more
you,
of what I meant, not that
yeah,
they
because
act
like,
bad.
yeah, exactly. Because like, when I think, because I went through almost all his filmography at one time, and there are some pretty bad movies. The Apparition with Ashley
Okay,
Greene,
that is
not
bad.
that good. With
That
the
is bad.
Straight Bangs, not that. I mean, the movie's like good for like the
But
time.
it's low budget.
Yeah. The Covenant is pretty terrible, but God, that's a classic. I'm obsessed with that. I watched that in theater when it came out. I'm going to show my age here.
I've
That's
seen
god
that.
awful.
The one of his that, don't get me wrong, there were a couple of things that were funny in this movie, but the one of his that stands out to me, besides The Apparition, because that was pretty bad, was The Bronze, which was the one where he was the
The
Olympic coach.
gymnastics.
Yes, the
Yep.
gymnastics coach. That, I mean, like I said, there's some stuff in it that's funny, but that one is, yeah. But it's funny when you said Sebastian, that did jog my memory, and Chris Evans is who I was thinking of.
Yeah.
He had some stuff that, again, it wasn't him, it just they
Yeah.
weren't good movies. And his most recent things have not been my favorite either. So I don't know if it's gets he chooses things that aren't very good, or maybe there's not for me. But
Yeah.
yeah, that's funny. Yes, it was killing me because I was like, I know there was someone that almost everything I was just like, my goodness. But Sebastian, I liked a lot of his stuff. I really liked Political Animals, that miniseries he did.
Hmm.
I think I actually, this is gonna sound old, but I own the DVD of it.
I think that's one of the ones that I did not watch.
Hmm.
Obviously, we watched Gossip Girl, and
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I watched the rest of his films, but
He was why I watched Gossip Girl, actually. I had never seen it, and I guess it was around the time the first Avenger came out, and I started looking into things he had been in. Because I started Once Upon a Time, at that same time. That had pretty much just started, but then
Mhm.
I went back and watched Gossip Girl because he was on it. I knew it was a short, he was only in a little bit of it, and then I finished it, but yeah, that is why I watched Gossip Girl. Carter
I
Bazin.
watched I watched Gossip Girl because of The Covenant.
Yeah.
It had Sebastian Stan in it, and then it also had Chase Crawford.
Yes.
So, and I found Gossip Girl from Chase Crawford.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, it's a good way to find things to watch. I've watched a lot of things because of who's in it,
Mhm.
and I don't regret it. I mean, it's just one of those things. Again, you like celebrities and pop culture and stuff, and sometimes you find really cool stuff, and then sometimes you don't, as we just talked about.
Yeah.
Um, let's see. Transitioning a little bit, this was something, I mean, it feels way off topic, but Treva and I talk about it all the time, and I'm curious what other people think. And it's on the note of fandoms, and it has to do with resellers with merch. Yeah, Treva's, if you don't have the video on, she's laughing because it's two things that I've had an issue with lately, and one is resellers. You see it just about everywhere. You see it with Taylor Swift merch, books, like special editions from the different boxes and things like that. Um, I see it with other TV show merch and things like that. So and then things at Home Goods and TJ Maxx, the holiday stuff is also resold pretty heavily, and it's people buying these things with the intention of reselling it, and they mark it up crazy high. Realistically, I feel like the average person can't afford to do all of this stuff. And if you don't get it when it goes on sale, then you're left trying to find it resale later, and So one thing I can think of is I have a set of off-campus books that were about $130 when they first went on sale. One of them is signed, and now that same set is being resold in Macari for about $550. So I guess just we did wanna just talk a little about it, and that was a long tangent, but to kinda give background, and I know Triva's been hunting some stuff recently that's it's not feasible for most people to be able to repurchase, and I get wanting to make a little money, but these are people that are buying these things, whether it's tickets, books, other merch, with the intention of making a profit.
Yeah, I think for me, like the books are really triggering for me.
Mhm.
Especially if like you just get into like a book series. Like I have all like obviously all of these Fourth Wings, and a lot of them I did buy secondhand.
Mhm.
And some of them I don't feel like I should have paid as much as I did
Yeah.
for a book that sometimes one book is $32 and then they're
Mhm.
asking 150 to 350 for one book.
Yes.
Like, and then on top of that, a lot of them don't do like a restock of it. So
No.
then like you don't have a chance to like buy it again. You have to buy it
Mhm.
secondhand, and it's for me, it's so annoying because I'm just like, I don't have $350 to drop on one book. Like, I like the
No.
series. I don't like it that much.
Mhm. Absolutely. It I feel like all of it kind of around it does take advantage a little bit of fans, especially resellers, but then sometimes I think certain merch and stuff is priced a lot higher than it should be for what it is. And I'm not saying I've never purchased something, from one of these places that I probably did pay too much for.
Yeah.
And like you just said, you think about it later and sometimes, like some of those books you were listing off were almost as much as my car payment. And that just, it's insanity to think that that is a book that costs as much as X, Y, and Z. And I guess what keeps it going is there are people that paid it and it continues to perpetuate these cycles. But it's very frustrating. And I feel like we've run into it a lot
Yeah.
lately. And it gets old. There was a Taylor Swift snow globe, the Lover snow globe, the original one, and it came out in 2019. And when she was already popular prior to COVID, but I feel like when Folklore came out, it just for some reason skyrocketed. I think because people were home. It was a
Hmm.
different style of music for her, and it got new
We didn't have
fans.
we didn't have anything to do.
Yeah, and so it really just kinda launched a mania with her that I don't, because 'cause I've been a Swiftie since 2006, and yes, she's been popular, but not like it's been these last 6 years, and that snow globe ended up being resold after, especially once the Eras tour kicked off, there were listings of it for $1,000. $50 snow globe people were selling for $1 to $2,000, and I can't say whether or not anybody paid that, but it's crazy, and she did end up doing, essentially a reprinted version, and, Triva got me one, and, because yeah, I mean, when the stuff does happen, it's difficult too to get in for the restocks, whether
Hmm.
it's stuff like that or I haven't checked, but we were talking about a reprint of Heated Rivalry from Smut and Sip, and I think it did sell out. I haven't gone back and checked, but if you're not on and you can't get through the checkout and it's crashing and all of that, you don't get it, and then you are stuck with trying to decide, how bad do I want it?
Yeah.
But the books really bother me too because, yeah, they're typically 30 to $40 depending on the special edition, and then, like, that off-campus set being $550.
Would it be nice to have it? Yeah, but I can't
Mm-mm.
justify
No.
dropping that amount of money on a book series like that.
No, and I think even if, I was in a position where I could just spend endlessly, I don't even know then that I would spend that on a book set. Because I have those, and now they're all signed because I took them to a book signing, so if 5 of them with 1 is signed, what could I resell those for? Not that I would, but
Yeah.
it's crazy, and it gets tiring, and we were talking about it, and I was like, "No, let's yeah, no, talk about that because I know other people experience the same thing. I have friends that also read, and there's one book that we've been hunting. I have it, but I had to get an Australian copy because anywhere here it was $150, and it's the game's God's Play. It's the sprayed edges, and I think I was able to get it resell for about 50 bucks, but we've not been able to find any others for my friends, and
Yeah.
none of us are willing to pay $150 for one book.
It's
So
definitely insane.
that's our tangent. So, hate the resellers. Well,
Yeah.
even with the home goods stuff, because we like to collect Halloween things, but I've seen the resellers out in the wild, and they do live streams, and they're dumping it all in the carts, and it's just I don't know what has as much as I love TikTok, I feel like, honestly, that's where a lot of this comes from.
I think so. I think they like it creates like a hysteria where it's
Yeah,
like you have to have it. Like last year was the Grim Reaper with the
the bat
like
snow globe.
yep, yep. Because everyone was buying that because of Akatar, it looked like a
Mhm,
cereal. So yeah, I think once something hits TikTok, it's like you have to be like one of the first people to find it or you're
mhm,
never gonna find it all
mm-mm,
season. Because
no,
I think a couple years ago, it was that with the ghost blanket, the pink and white one,
mhm,
and then, every year since, they've had, like, a massive overstock of
mhm.
them.
Yeah, and I mean, in instances like that, it's nice if you didn't get one. And with TikTok, with anything, there's a good and bad to it because I have found books and TV stuff through there that I wasn't aware of. Then obviously things that like TJ and Home Goods, special editions of books. So there's good because it brings it up, but then also, like you said, it does create kind of a hysteria. And I think that was the same thing that happened with the Eras tour, that it was the thing to go to, and it
Yeah.
created that same hysteria, and the tickets skyrocketed and honestly never came back down.
No.
And
It was, like,
it's,
impossible to get tickets
yeah,
too.
unless you were willing to pay a couple thousand to sit at the top of these stadiums, which is just, it's insanity. And it's all of this stuff that people who aren't kind of deep divers, with media and stuff may not be aware of, because I know I have friends that don't pay attention to that kind of stuff, and nothing wrong with it, but when you peel back the layers of all of it, especially if you really want to go to these things or collect the stuff, it adds up, and it's kind of a chore.
Definitely.
So, it's a mess. I hope maybe eventually it'll calm down, but, I know in a couple of my fandoms, I still see stuff being sold pretty high. And I'm gonna be fighting for my life for the Bookish Heated Rivalry in, like, a week because they're autographed.
I wish you luck, my friend.
I hope I get it. I will be
I'm in those queues a couple times a week, so
yeah, I did the Elle Kennedy love song, and that wasn't terrible, and there were plenty left over, but this one, I don't know how it's gonna
yeah.
go, especially because some of them are autographed, and they do have digital signatures too, which I
Mhm.
would settle for, but I really want a signed one.
Yeah.
So, we'll see. It literally feels like the Hunger Games, trying to get stuff. So
Yeah,
I
it's
felt
like
this
Ricky Bobby. You're not first, you're last.
pretty much. That's how I felt in the Spider-Man line the other day. So, we are just about out of time. Did we miss anything? I know today there wasn't a whole lot happening this week, but we'll have the bear
No.
next week to go over,
Yep.
and I plan to post on our social media, the reading schedule for ACOTAR and Crescent City, because we are going to reread them starting in August. And anybody who listens and wants to follow along, we're going to do that. We are only going to do ACOTAR and Crescent City, though. We're not doing the whole um, reread of everything. So we don't have any information on Throne of Glass and when you should start that. There's probably guides online, but I'm personally just gonna kind of look for a good recap of Throne of Glass. I remember a lot of the main things that could potentially pop up, but I think the new book is gonna be heavy on ACOTAR and probably the Last Crescent City.
Yeah. We definitely will probably get some Bryce mentions in
Yeah,
there. So
that's what I think, and I mean, if we're wrong, we're wrong. I feel like as long as you've read Throne of Glass, at least if something popped up, you're gonna clock in. But so that's how we're doing it. But like I said, if people are listening and want to join, I would look up how to do Throne of Glass, and incorporate that. But we have it broken down to start August 1st, and it finishes, I believe, this Sunday before the book comes out. I'd
yeah.
have to look at my notes, but so it's a good length of time, and that's only a certain amount of chapters per day. So if you read more, you might finish quicker, but we will only go over what was on the schedule that week. So it'll end up being quite a few by the time we get to record, but we want to stay on pace and not spend the whole summer reading it, but not try to rush either.
Yeah. I'm definitely gonna be taking notes this time around.
Yes, I was gonna take notes too, both for here, but then also for myself, just
Yeah.
to kinda keep up with, but I'm looking forward to that. That's gonna be a lot of fun and kinda have something, to look forward to, 'cause I love when something's finally coming out.
Yes. And we are ready.
Yeah, I am more than ready. I was thinking about that last night. Treva knows, but I had a reheat of Heated Rivalry last night. I was at one point, I think I was just sitting there on my couch and was like, I don't want to wait till April for season 2. And I feel that way about Off Campus. I feel that way about some books that I have coming out. I hate waiting for stuff. And I know that's just the way of the world, but I want instant. Like, I'm ready.
Exactly. And then it's like you get that one hit of dopamine and then you're like it's
Yeah,
like sad girl summer.
it is. And so I feel like that's why, like, I keep going back to the same stuff to try to feel something again, which I did, but still, it's not the same. I still need to
Yeah.
rewatch Off Campus. Maybe I'll start that soon. I
You
don't
were
know
gonna
why.
start Ted Lasso.
Yeah, and see, I haven't yet, but I have a plan of how I'm gonna do it. I just ended up not having time this week. I don't think I hardly even watched anything this week except my Criminal Minds episode. I think that was honestly it. Just had a busy week.
Yeah.
So, well, we have our wheel. Who or what should we do it over this week? Because we
Ooh,
talked
I
about a lot
don't
of stuff.
we did. Should we do Spider-Man?
That's what I was leaning toward.
Okay.
Let
Spin the wheel
me
of doom.
The Wheel of Doom, that's what we should call it, even though it's not bad things. Okay, so for Spider-Man, she is spinning. We have Kiss, Mary, Kill again.
Oh,
It's doubling
okay.
up. Do we want to keep that or do we want to spin one more? Because we have done that
Spin it
recently.
again.
Yeah, I was going to say we just did that. Let's do something else. There's so many topics too, so the chances it fell on that again.
Right?
Okay, let's see. Most likely to survive a horror movie.
Mm.
And
I
I
mean,
guess
I feel like she's Peter Parker.
I know. I was like, Peter feels obvious because he has abilities. Um,
Frank Castle, obviously, he's definitely surviving.
I feel like even though she doesn't have any powers, I feel like MJ, so specifically Zendaya's MJ, just to clarify. Um, I feel like she could be very resourceful and scrappy
Mhm.
and might be final girl material.
She definitely could be, but I think isn't it the first one we see her just standing around in gym class reading?
Yeah. Yeah, because I guess it depends if we're talking about intelligence, strength, things like that. Because
Like, or is she like in the Saw universe where she has to like figure out the puzzles? Because she'd be great at that. Or is she
yeah,
like
or
is she facing down like Jason or Michael Myers?
um I say typical slasher.
Okay.
So, yeah, like Friday the 13th, Halloween, Nightmare on Elm Street, that kinda stuff.
Okay. So are you still sticking with MJ?
Mm, yeah, I think I am, just personality-wise, I can't explain it, but I feel like if we dumped everybody from Spider-Man in a horror movie, I would clock her to survive.
Okay. Well, I'm clocking Frank Castle to
Frank
survive.
Castle. But what about out of the, like, original characters?
I'm gonna go with Peter then, because
Yeah.
like he's got. Does he have a Spidey powers? Like,
I mean, yeah, even before clearly he's mutating or something in the new one, but even before that, he does have powers. So,
yeah, I'm going Spidey.
if it was like a cyber criminal or something, Ned could whoop them easily.
Yes.
But Ned also probably would have a lot of insight, I feel like, to what was going on. Strength-wise, I don't know that Ned could do it, but I guess it just depends how we're talking about them surviving, if you have to fight them or if it's just surviving the night. But, yeah, I honestly like the idea of any of it. For some reason, my mind went to House of Wax, and I had a little bit of anxiety sitting here.
Oh, well, everyone is human there, so
But, that one makes me so uncomfortable.
I think I've told you this before. The older I get, the more I can't handle gore.
Me too.
Like as a teen, I was like, like whatever, it's fine. I watched House of Wax. I think it was last year, a year before, and I couldn't handle him cutting off her finger. I couldn't handle them cutting Jared's Achilles tendon. I couldn't
Yeah.
handle it.
Well, and when you realize, which I don't think realistically, um, Wade, which was Jared's character, would have still been alive when the wax is on him, but when they realize he's wax and his eyes are moving and stuff, that makes me very uncomfortable.
Oh.
And the finger for sure. But for some reason, as we were going through scenarios for the characters, my brain did go to House of Wax, and I was like,
We're gonna
oh.
have them fight Michael Myers, and it's going to be in the House of Wax.
And Jason Voorhees is going to come in somehow. Even
I
though there
love
wasn't,
it.
I don't think there was a lake in that area. But
No, I don't think so.
yeah, I'm with you. As I get older, I don't really like gore either. I actually haven't for quite a while. I had what I now realize was a panic attack during one of the Saw movies. It was 3 or
Oh,
4, and at that point I thought to myself, I don't think I can do stuff like this anymore.
yeah.
And I don't know why. It makes me uncomfortable, and that's fine.
I guess it
So,
depends on the scenario because we did watch The Boys, and that really didn't bother me.
it did me a little bit, but not enough that I didn't wanna watch it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But I will say I did have it got better this last probably 2 seasons, but prior to that, anytime Homelander was on screen, I had anxiety. And especially if
He was just
if he started, like,
he's
getting
got that
testy, I
he's got
was
that
like,
face.
Make it stop." But, yeah, stuff like that I can do, but, um, I don't know, it just depends, and if not, I'll just look away, I guess.
Yeah.
But I don't watch a whole lot of horror anymore anyway, so but, yeah,
It's
that was
got
a fun question.
it's got to be something that like piques my interest like right away for me to like
Mhm.
want to see it.
Yeah, and so many horror movies lately, I feel like, are so similar that I
Mhm.
don't have a lot of interest in them. The most unique one I've seen recently was I did see Obsession. Some of it was a little predictable for me, but it had a very unique plot and the acting was pretty good. And so that was the first one in quite a while I've seen that felt different, besides Weapons. Weapons was pretty unique, but I don't know that I would call Weapons horror.
I
I mean,
can't.
kind of, but probably more of a thriller.
I kid you not. This is gonna show how long it's been. I think the last one to like really shock me and like to get any like real reaction out of me was The Boy.
Oh, that was a long time ago.
Yeah, I remember watching that. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's called The Boy, right?
Yeah,
I'm
it
pretty
had
sure.
Lauren Cohen, right?
Yeah. For some reason, I don't know why I didn't like. I thought it was like a full on like ghost story, like whatever, fine. And
Mhm.
then like he came out of that wall, and I've never like. So I looked at my sister faster, and I was like, "Oh my god, he's a person!
He's a real boy.
He's a real boy!"
Yes, as soon as you were starting to talk, I was like, "It's the wall."
Yes, I think that's the last time I've been like, I'm like shocked by like a horror film. Like, oh my
Mhm.
god.
I don't know my last one that shocked me, like, because Obsession didn't. I'd have to really think on it.
And like this sounds really stupid, but a lot of the times, maybe it's just because I watch so much Supernatural that I'm kind of just like, oh, well, like this is what's happening. A, B, and C either needs to happen or like, so
Mhm.
like whatever else needs to happen. So I don't know if that like watching that takes the suspense out of it for me because I'm like, oh, well, this is what I would have done like
Could be
differently.
when you start kind of putting yourself in that scenario, or
Yeah.
you're looking for almost like clues the whole time. I maybe my last that actually shocked me thinking about it was the Haunting of Hill House series on Netflix.
Oh,
Though
yeah.
so not
Okay.
movies, but horror TV.
Yeah.
I don't think either season of that I figured out anything. So,
Actually, you know what? I don't think it shocked me, but speaking of Ned, I don't know the actor's name, I'm so sorry. He was in that movie Tarot.
oh, I didn't see that.
And spoiler alert, he is a Taurus, go Taurus. He like you get obviously you get drawn the card and then like they predict that's how you die. And he got the Joker, I'm pretty sure, some type of like joking thing, and he gets caught in an elevator, and you're like, oh, well, he's done for. And then like at the end, he shows up, and I was like, oh, okay, well, go me.
Oh my gosh. Man. I mean, that is good. Come out. We have a final boy.
Exactly. And he's a Taurus, so I'll take it.
Well, I think that's our show for today. Next week probably is going to focus pretty heavily on the bear
Mm-hmm.
because hopefully we'll have finished it by then. I think
I will take
so.
notes.
Yes, take notes. It will contain spoilers. So we'll make
We'll put
sure
that
to,
in beforehand.
yeah, put that in beforehand. It'll be in the caption. If you don't want to hear spoilers, then wait a little bit. We will always give kind of a warning for that, and then proceed if you want to or not. If it's been out for quite a while, then I don't really consider that a spoiler at that point. I mean, I guess it is if it's new to you, but if it's been out a while, we're not going to censor it as much. But so we will give a heads up on that, but that is probably going to be the majority of next week. So I am looking forward to it, and I hope that we're happy with it. So we shall
I
see
hope
then.
so. We will find out.
All right. We will. Okay. Until next time. Bye.
Bye.